Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And today I'm going to be doing my Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V episode 112 Season 3 review. Very good episode. And I liked the pace change they did in this episode. It wasn't just all dueling and stuff like that. They kind of went more into the storytelling because we've been all dueling back to back. And we kind of got more inside of what was going on, which is a lot better. So this episode starts off following the duel. Neo, Commander Neo, Neon, or something like that. Weird dude, with a weird name. Then again, he's kind of a weird creature there. Or weird person there. He kind of, he basically sent the, the Obelisk forces, or the Obelisk blue ranking people from Duel Academy to go after Yuya. Astro Phoenix goes on Yuya's side, and has a change of heart because he lost the duel. Change of heart because losing a duel can change somebody. Because losing a duel can change somebody. That's what we've learned from this series. So Astro Phoenix defends. Then he was like, so what if I'm a traitor? We need to fix, we need to fix the Xyz dimension and whatnot there. And he takes his, cape thing off. And then after that, the Tyler sisters, Grace, she's been always, on the team for a while with Yuya's team for a while. And the Gloria Tyler sister is like, no. And she's like, admit it. You like it. And he was like, oh, maybe a little. And he's like, welcome to Team Yuya. And so then they, eventually join Astro Phoenix side there. And then after that, Commander Needon basically is just like, since you're betraying Duel Academy, I am now second in command. That means I'm taking command. So then he tells us blue people to just be like, go take him down, or orders to take him down. And then Kite comes and says you're going to tell him to stop or whatever there. And, Kite just comes back into the phrase. And, then Astro Phoenix basically explains the situation to them, that we need to help them, and whatnot, and they listen. Really kind of weird. I almost was like shocked that they actually listened to Astro Phoenix, because my understanding was these people were trained to be this way, so them not losing a duel and being convinced by Astro Phoenix to help rebuild the Xyz dimension and say that Duel Academy's plan is, the professor's plan is outrageous and stuff like that. Kind of a little surprise there, but they do it. The Commander Neon, he's like, next frame, you see them in the in the house or whatever, they're all together, the soldiers and stuff like that. They're all helping out the people in the Xyz dimension, doing toilet duties and stuff like that. And whatnot there. So really kind of change of pace there, but really interesting how they did that. Then you see Yuto, talking through Yuya, and saying, to Kite, how he, changed the corner and changed his ways and stuff like that. Because of his, family being taken out with the cards or whatever. Astro Phoenix, of course, overhears this and he tells them that, even though they turned into cards, they actually are still alive. It's just that they're in the cards. Their life form is in the cards, but they're still alive. So, he's like, oh, where are they? And so Astro Phoenix basically shows them where they go to take the cards that they, got from the Xyz dimension, and sent them, to Duel Academy, and that's also where they, jump dimensions, I guess. So after that happens, they decide, obviously, to go to the fusion dimension and, rescue his parents and any other people that were trapped in the cards, I guess, as well. So that's where I think that whole stands. So, Saya, well, first Alan, is hesitant too. I forgot to mention Alan is hesitant of, all these people all of a sudden helping from the fusion dimension, helping the people from the Xyz dimension, but they eventually, Gong eventually convinces him, yes, they're doing the right thing, and they're doing, thing, and Kite, tells him, yes, let him do the right thing and stuff. So, on that front. So after this, once Aster Phoenix shows them where they go to basically get the cards back, and where they go to the, fusion dimension, they make the decision that Yuya, Gong, Sylvio, Kite, they go to they're gonna go to the fusion dimension, basically. Everyone else is gonna basically stay behind. Shay can't make it because he's hurt still, and they're still healing him. I'm sure he's eventually gonna go, though, to Duel Academy, because that's where he wants to go. So or go to the fusion dimension, because that's what he's been wanting to go this whole saga. So I imagine that's what's gonna happen once he heals up. So they're going to Duel Academy. Before they go, Saya gives a card to Kite, and he says, she at first she doesn't want it. And he says, "No, you must take it." And he's like, "Okay, it will be a great addition to my deck." So he puts it in a deck, and then they go to the fusion dimension. They go to the fusion dimension. Then we go to the fusion dimension. They don't show them going there, but they show Alexis Rose, finally. And they show Zuzu. They show Zuzu, and they show Mr. Sakaki. They talk about how their best duelists were turned into cards. Oh, and they also Yudo's there as well. Yugo is there as well. And so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, because their best duelists were turned into cards, basically. So while they're discussing their plan, because they said that, we have to go head on Duel Academy. And he, says, "I agree, but I'll do it myself." And they're like, "No, you can't do it yourself. You're no condition," and stuff like that. So then, seconds later, Dennis returns to the frame. Now, last time we seen Dennis was when he was taken back to the fusion dimension by Sora in Season 2. He was the spy. In the Lancers. We find out that his original teacher was, in fact, Mr. Sakaki, which is why he has, that, flare type, thing, of dual attaining, but also has the snitch stuff of, fusion dimensions in, methods in them. So it's kind of a mixture, which is kind of weird thinking about it, the way this whole story is going. So, they said, you have to go through me. Also, there were other soldiers, some Slifers, and there were also some raw yellows that were there as well. Slifer reds and raw yellows, mostly Slifer reds that were there. They eventually talk before finally Mr. Sakaki agreed to duel him, and he placed the card face down and ended his turn. And when he used when Dennis used the pendulum scale, and Aziz summoned, so he knows how to Xyz. He knows how to Xyz, fusion, and pendulum. Probably not a good combination. It's actually perfect for a spy, I guess. Anyways, so what happens is he uses this hat card, basically, or I think it was a trap. And what happened was it's kind of like magical hats, but it isn't. It's only 2 cards, and like he got 2 attacks to take him down, but you had to attack one at a time. But his a monster's ability allowed him to attack twice. So he attacks once, it's a spell card. Then he attacks twice, and it's another spell card that looks like Mr. Sakaki, only very thin. He's like, "Did you lose weight or something?" And it was like, and by the time he realized that, he was gone and everyone else was gone. They were all gone. So I don't know how that's actually considered a duel, because like technically Mr. Sakaki bailed. So is that really like a duel, or what kind of duel is that? Like, you know what I mean there? So then Yugo is riding his motorcycle with Zuzu, and then we got Zuzu eventually getting off, and he says, "Don't worry, I'll hold them off." He's like, "What do you mean? You can't do this alone?" Because they're, being tracked down by all these, Duel Academy people. And then eventually Zuzu's bracelet turns pink and activates again, and Yugo is all of a sudden gone. But then seconds later, you got Yuya and the rest of the gang, there from, the Xyz dimension now, or in the fusion dimension. They find Zuzu right away. So I imagine in the next episode we're going to see Yuya dueling. Or maybe them all dueling, I don't know. So it's quite a reunion. Dennis is like, "Oh, cool, how good of a reunion." And then at the end you see, what you need to do, and you see like a picture, of someone, grinning, and that's the end of the episode. He had like purple hair, so I imagine it's the fusion dimension Yuya, but I have no idea. Also, a couple notes to mention. There was a thing in this episode where they talked about Zuzu, and they asked the question about had anyone seen Zuzu. They had said no one had seen someone or Astro Phoenix had said to Yuya there was no one that we had seen in pink hair, which I thought was something really interesting, because if memory serves me correctly, Astro Phoenix did not know what Zuzu looked like. So how did Astro Phoenix know that Zuzu had pink hair? Because she was never captured, so Astro Phoenix never had contact with Zuzu. So that was one thing. That was something right before they went to the fusion dimension. They were still in the Xyz dimension when they were talking to Astro Phoenix. That was something to really note, that like how did he know that Zuzu had pink hair if he had no idea what she looked like? That was something I thought was really weird, that Astro Phoenix knew what hair color Zuzu had when he had no idea what she looked like. assuming this is a dub change, because I can't imagine this being the regular translation. But maybe it was. I don't know. But it just seemed kind of a weird line. If this wasn't the original Japanese translation, it's a very weird. It's definitely a weird sin botch for sure, because Astro Phoenix never knew what Zuzu looked like. So that definitely is something to note. I don't know if anyone paid attention to that, but I thought that was something to really note. So, yeah, it's interesting to see where they're going to go with this now, since all the main characters are pretty much now in the fusion dimension now. To see what will happen with the Xyz dimension. Are they gone, or are we going to see them again? Probably we won't see them as much, because the focus, I think, now is going to be for the rest of the way in the fusion dimension, which is for the better, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit of them, but probably not as much. We still haven't seen Sora yet. I would like to see the return of Sora in the series. Hopefully in the next coming episodes we will see them, since they're all, mostly everyone's now in the fusion dimension. So we probably are going to be seeing Sora very soon. It is interesting to note, I'm pretty sure that guy at the end was the fusion dimension Yuya. I don't know why they ain't showing him, but that's something to note. Another thing to note is, obviously, we still don't know where all the other, Zuzus are currently. We still have no idea where Selena is. I mean, she's I don't know, she's probably, like, I'm imagining that they have her, like, in a cuffed up or something. But we have not seen her yet in this whole season. Selena, aka Serena, for all the for all the people that watch this in Japan. I don't know why they changed her name. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's because there's too many Serenas in the mainstream. Pokemon, Sailor Moon for the Deke dub, but that's like 2 generations ago. I don't know. I guess 4Kids thought that there was too many. There were too many Serenas. Because Pokemon's got one now as well. That's the only thing I can think of them why they changed it, because I don't know why they would change her name, because that's a common English name. I don't know why. I mean, its origins is actually from Japan, which I recently found that out. Its origin, Serena's name is actually an Origins Japan name, but it's a very common English name. It's used a lot in English, so I don't know why they would have to change. I don't know why they had to change that name to Selena. But that's something to note. That's the only one. That's only probably one of the fewest names I would probably have an issue with for somebody that's localizing these names still. Anyways, so yeah, it's interesting to see where they're going with it next. I did like the pace of the story. I liked how they focused more in the story into this episode. Because the last few episodes were just pure dueling the entire time, which is always cool. But I wanted to really see where the story was going as well, and we didn't get enough of that in a lot of these so far episodes that have aired. So I'm glad we got more of a change of pace. And we're gonna see a duel in the next, pretty much in the next one anyway. So it keeps the story aligned. So yes, awesome episode. I'm glad we got Alexis back. Hopefully we'll get to see more of Alexis. I would like to see her duel more. We've only seen her duel once so far, and we need to see Sora. Hopefully he comes back. Declan's still not around. We don't know where the hell he's at right now. But that's really about it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like this episode or not? Comment, rate. If you like this video or my other videos, please subscribe. I also have my playlist of all my anime reviews in the description. You can check all those out, as well as my Yu-Gi-Oh! One from last week, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V from last week, as well as all the other ones I have done, Dragon Ball Super, Attack on Titans, you name it. All English dub, of course. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. Comment, rate if you like this video or my other videos, please subscribe, and that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.